just watching guys come back and see the jump they've made since the fall or last year, getting ready for the season. I think that's always a challenge. You got so many little things you got to work on, and so everybody starts getting excited about playing because you practice all fall and do a lot of stuff before you get to play. So, there's that anxiety of wanting to get on the field. Just think being around the guys and not having the pressure of winning or losing is pretty good.
Is the mood now more? Is it more excitement, more anxiousness? It does seem like it's kind of a mix of both right now.
Yeah, I think there's excitement about playing. I mean, college athletics, you get a chance to participate, you get a chance to, get out on the field and show what you can do. And, we got some guys that were here last year that obviously had a great year and want to do more, and we'll see.
Is it more anxious to get back after a couple years ago when you failed to make the postseason, or when last year when you're so close and you just didn't quite finish?
For me, every year as far as getting back is the same. I feel pretty good about going to the College World Series. Winning the thing doesn't define who they were last year, what they accomplished. They were a special group of guys.
You guys are number 2 in pretty much every single preseason poll. You notice them peeking at that at all?
Well, I noticed the other day watching practice that they thought they were pretty good, and they weren't practicing like they were the number 2 team in the country. So, that's the other thing you got to worry about. Nobody really cares where you're ranked. We're ranked there because of what we did last year, and Florida's number 1. They won it. They should be ranked number 1, but that's all just nonsense, and everybody will tell you that.
I know you have a lot coming back and basically all over this roster, but in your pitching staff.
Yeah.
Who do you expect to challenge to take on a different role, or who do you think starting-wise do you expect able to be sort of inserted into that starting rotation for the first few games?
Well, replacing 14 wins with Jake Thompson is going to be hard to do. So he actually, just had a phenomenal year. Kevin Abel certainly is a candidate for that. Jordan Britton's a guy that could also do that. Sam Tweed's a guy that could do that. So there's a couple guys, that's what we're doing now. We're trying to get ourselves to where we can inter-squad a little bit. Looks like we're going to be able to do that this Thursday and Friday. Let those guys have some innings and let them decide, who gets the wall. But that always seems to be something that's changed after the first couple of weeks. I remember Andrew Moore's first year, one of our starters tweaked his back, so we go, let's just start Andrew Moore, and guy goes 6 innings and gives up 1 hit, so we go, well, let's just start him next week, and he was a starter for the rest of his career. So sometimes you get to fall into those things, but there's a lot of competition even through the first couple of weeks to find out who gets the ball.
It appears Luke's around the facility, and is he on the roster this year?
Yes.
What was that? Was there any thought of not bringing him back?
Is there any thought of not bringing him back? No.
Yeah. Were you surprised when he didn't get drafted?
Yes.
What no discussion with anybody about just everything that went down at the end of last season, and whether or not you thought it was good for the team to bring him back?
Well, I haven't had a discussion with anybody about whether I think it's good for the team to bring him back.
What's the discussions like with Luke as far as dealing with?
We just play baseball. He's here to play baseball. It's like every other guy that's out here playing baseball.
So then a guy that I guess will compete for the Friday job.
He might.
Preseason All-American.
Yeah.
I mean, just based on what they did do the last 2 years, I mean, is it fair to say that Bryce and Luke likely will be 2 of those starters that opening weekend, just based on what they've done last?
Yeah, they've done a great job. They pitched well. And I hope they do. I hope they're there. Yeah, they should. They got plenty of mound time. That's for sure.
Have you ever had a guy go through what Drew went through this offseason, and what do you talk with him and to help him through all this?
Well, I think you've been through everything. It's tough. The kid, first round draft pick, doesn't sign, has more medical issues. He's here. He's around the facility. He's taking some classes. He's great young man. I feel bad for him. I mean, that's a tough one. But guys like that, they find a way to persevere. They'll do fine.
Is Drew here? Is he around? I haven't actually seen him today.
Yeah, I just saw him standing here talking to his girlfriend.
Okay, good.
See, when you're not on the team, you can talk to your girlfriend all the time. You know what I mean?
That's true.
How do you view the conference as a whole? Is it as strong as it's been? Or?
I think from top to bottom, it's going to be as good as I've ever seen it. As far as UCLA. When you mention a team, and somebody thinks that somebody else isn't good, but I know that the returners at UCLA, Stanford, Arizona State's better. I think everybody's better, put it that way. I think everybody in our conference that I know of is better than they were last year. So that's going to make it interesting. It's going to be the Wild Wild West. I mean, I think there's a lot of teams that could win this thing. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be in the playoffs. I think it's really, really a good league this year.
Is there a target on your back this year?
I think there is. I think there's a target on everybody's back that is ranked high or picked to do something or had a year before. And, you know, that's part of what it is. I think that, you know, everybody that has success in college athletics, if you have any sustained success, there's a target on your back every year. So hopefully our guys, you know, will respond to that and be better for it.
How important is it to have an established pecking order to the rotation before you start the season?
It depends on, I think, how many young guys you have and how many veterans you have. You know, I think if you look at the guys that we've talked about that have had mound time and have had experience, you know, they know what they need to do. I think some of those young guys are a little bit wide-eyed right now. And, you know, their job, the older guys, is to get those guys on the mound and get them comfortable. And Nate's going to do a great job. He does a great job with pitchers, so I'm not concerned about that. You know, the keeping guys healthy, everybody worries about that. So, you know, we'll see. I like our club. I think there's some things we've got to, you know, I mean, you're talking about KJ and Seaboy, two guys who started for 3 years, that hit in the middle of our order for 3 straight years, that were huge offensive guys for us. I mean, we're going to have to replace that offensively. So we're going to have to be better in some areas. You know, we probably won't have that power from KJ at first base. There's just nobody that I know of that has that power at that position. So we're going to have to be better in another area of the game.